Welcome to Local Matters, featuring the resources, good works, and good news happening around us. Today, we begin at the Kingston Public Library. Though their doors are closed, libraries are still offering an important service to their communities. Kingston Public Library, for example, is doing its part to provide online resources to get you through these tough times. Librarian Mike Slauson took the time to give us an update.
I'm Mike Slauson. I'm a library tech with the Kingston Public Library, and here at the library we're continuing to provide many of our online resources that we provided in the past. This includes things like ebooks and e-audiobooks, online movies, reading help for kids, research resources, and much, much more. Knowing that many of our patrons have and will be spending quite a bit of time at home, we also really wanted to add to and to enhance our online services. And one of these most popular services that we've recently added is called Canopy, which is a video streaming service that focuses on independent films and documentaries. And they also have a great selection of videos for kids. We've also set up Ancestry.com from home, so for a limited time with your library card, you can research your family history or find historical records and a lot more. One of the best parts about working at the library is interacting with the people who walk in the door every day, and we miss seeing our patrons, so we've really made an effort to transition a lot of our programming to an online format. So we're continuing our monthly Lee and Friends puppet shows. We've got Big Ryan coming. We've also transitioned some of our regular meetings, our Naughty Knitters, as well as our monthly book group is also going to be on Zoom. And we're also preparing on March 28th for a author talk. In addition, our staff has put out some great ebook recommendations through our website for everyone to check out. And so far, the response from the community has been great. Our resources have been getting great use, and we've seen a positive response from our online programming. But that being said, even though we have some great offerings, we are here to serve you, and we want to know how we can do what we do better. So if you have a suggestion for us, or maybe you have a skill or a talent that you would like to share with the community, if so, get in touch with us. We can make that happen. To find out more about our programs, head over to kingstonpubliclibrary.org.
For 2 years, one of Boston's brightest drag stars, Coleslaw, has been performing the hit series Coleslaw's Corner in collaboration with the Museum of Science. On May 28th from 7:30 to 8 p.m., Coleslaw will bring her unique and hilarious brand of performance art into your very own home with her new digital series, Coleslaw's Corner, Science in Drag. Join this drag queen superstar as she sits down with a different expert, scientist, or researcher each episode to explore the world of science and technology. Part conversation, part Q&A, with a few games and surprises thrown in. Get ready for laughs, fabulousness, and creativity at every turn. And you just may learn a thing or two as well. This free event is recommended for ages 18+. For more information, go to Eventbrite and search Coleslaw's Corner. This is a particularly trying time for many. Stress, isolation, and uncertainty can lead to struggles with addiction and relapses. If you're missing your recovery meetings, South Shore Peer Recovery has started organizing weekly check-ins. Sign up for this free service to be connected with a trained peer for weekly check-ins that will benefit both you and your peer. To sign up, email Dawn Young or visit the organization's website to pick a day and time that works for you. If you're looking for more help, Plymouth County Outreach has begun hosting Recovery Coach office hours twice a week. On Tuesdays from 12 to 12:40 p.m. and Thursdays from 2 to 2:40 p.m., you can join a Zoom meeting with the Recovery Coach to receive fully confidential resources and support. Zoom information can be found on the department's Facebook page. And if you are in need of immediate support, leave a voicemail on the PCO line at 508-830-4218, extension 261, and someone will return your call as soon as possible. No one should go through hardship alone. Tracy Gonzalez is a respiratory therapist who works at Mass General Hospital, BID Plymouth, and New England Sinai. Tracy recently joined Julie Thompson via Zoom to give us her perspective on the pandemic through the eyes of a healthcare professional.
Thank you so much, Tracy, for being willing to come talk to us today. this must be a very unusual time for you as a respiratory therapist. How are you, what is it like now as opposed to before during this pandemic for you?
Honestly, every day it feels like you're going to war, like you're walking onto a battlefield. Um, you have to think more critically. I mean, we always have to think critically, but you have to think more critically than you normally do because every aspect, everything that you do could either, you know, potentially, and you could affect yourself, your coworkers, or other patients. So you have to be incredibly mindful and you have to be very adaptive.
Right.
It's a whole different world. There's a lot of uncharted territory that we're going through. So even still, we are learning as we go.
So you have to be hyper vigilant. I mean, that's kind of the way to put it. Now, can you just, for people that don't know, exactly what does a respiratory therapist do?
So that's a good question. So a lot of people think, oh, we just give nebs or, just place oxygen on people. It's very involved. I think the best way to put it is basically like a specialized nurse for airways and for ventilators. So our main area of focus is obviously from about here to here.
Yeah.
Cardiopulmonary. And there's a lot involved in those two systems. Breathing and the heart go hand in hand. So
Sure.
there's a lot of mathematics, there's a lot of science behind it. And then it also gets into actual like atmospheric pressures actually affect the breathing. So
Wow.
it's
So
very,
there's so much more than people
specified.
really understand. There's so much
Yeah.
more to this. Now,
There is.
you talked about ventilators for a minute. Obviously, in the news, people hear about ventilators, and people have been on ventilators for an extended amount of time. And people are not left alone when they're on ventilators. Is that true that you kind of have to monitor them continuously?
Yes.
Okay.
So the vents themselves have monitors, and majority of hospitals have overhead alarm systems that the ventilators hook into. So it'll alarm in the hallway. It'll be like a loud alarm that you cannot ignore. And then even at other various hospitals are doing baby monitors, like with cameras, so that way they can constantly have footage of the patient.
Sure.
And there's even some hospitals that the ventilator has a screen that's like almost like a Bluetooth link, so you can actually visualize what's going on the vent outside of the room.
Oh,
And you
great.
can troubleshoot from that screen.
So you're using a lot of technology to help you actually monitor the patients that you didn't have to do before. And
It's always been there, but it's, as we discussed earlier,
Right.
everything is heightened.
exactly, there's just so much more of it.
It's
Yeah.
so critical.
And do ventilators actually breathe for people? Is that what they do?
They do. So they do a lot of things actually. So right now, with the more acute the patient, the sicker the patient, the more support that we have to program into the vent. So basically, when I'm setting the ventilator, and they're that sick, I'm dictating how I want them to breathe
Okay.
based on their blood work and their lab values and things like that.
Okay.
As they start to heal and they get better, we can wean back that support to the point where they're actually doing all the work on their own. And then eventually that starts to get their muscles strong enough.
Sure.
We see that they have been weaned off sedation enough, and we can, take them off the vent and they'll be okay. So there's a science to that too, and a process that we've all been very careful because being intubated is not fun to begin with.
Sure.
And we certainly don't want to have to re-intubate somebody that wasn't ready to come off the vent.
Right.
So we're very
Yeah.
careful about that.
So they're in all the math and all the different factors that you have to put together to decide what the
that
next steps are. Yeah.
It's that and good old fashioned just
Yeah.
looking at the patient.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That wonderful interaction, that human interaction. What are some of the tips you have for taking care of your respiratory health, all of us, during an outbreak? What can we do on a daily basis?
So, I mean, if you have allergies, take your allergy meds because, you can't help the psychosomatic effect. Even when I've had a tickle in my throat, I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
is it coronavirus? So take your allergy med, take your vitamins,
Yeah.
hydrate, just treat yourself well. Drink some green tea,
Right.
just mindful of your body.
Okay. And your respiratory health is obviously tied to your overall physical health.
Yes.
So
I mean,
yeah.
if you're asthmatic, take your inhalers. If you are somebody that has COPD or has like sleep apnea, wear your CPAPs.
Right.
Do what you're supposed to do. Obviously, if you're on oxygen, don't smoke.
Don't smoke.
Do have to tell people that. So.
Right. Right. Okay. In what ways have you personally felt supported by the community?
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. It's everything from, thank yous to cards to, food being donated to just kind words of encouragement. And that is some of the fuel that, keeps us going. Like when we're having a hard day, and it's the teamwork aspect has changed in the hospital too. And everybody is just working together so well and supporting each other so well and looking out for each other. So it's not even just the public, we're all looking out for each other, but the public has definitely got our backs, and that's keeping us strong and keeping us going.
That's wonderful. So the public and each other, and we're hearing that in a lot of frontline workers, that the brotherhood and sisterhood of just being in this together. And you have a different way of viewing this fight than people that are not in the healthcare industry. And that's wonderful to know that you not only have support from the outside community, but you are just pulling together for each other and holding each other and keeping each other strong and safe, which is wonderful. Can you speak about the resiliency of your patients?
So it's funny, so they go through this, some of them, I shouldn't say all of them, because that would be a generalization. Some of them, they'll feel almost like they have the common flu, and it's a rough time, and they'll rest and they'll take their antibiotics and they'll recover, and some of that can be done at home, some of it is done at the hospital. And then as far as the patients that I see, I haven't myself personally prone a patient, which is when we lay them on their stomachs to breathe, and that means that they're incredibly acute at that point.
Right.
But we are seeing these patients that are so heavily sedated and so sick, and then eventually little things start to get peeled back, and everything just starts to turn the corner and normalize, obviously in the best situation. And it's amazing to see this person that was completely out of it start to come to. And my unit at Mass General, we are a respiratory acute care unit, so it's a step down from an ICU. So I've gotten the gift, I honestly will call it, of weaning these patients, and after they get trachs, because we can only leave people intubated for so long.
Right.
So I've gotten to hear their first words after all this, and I can't tell you how humbling it is. And it's funny because I kind of gush over them, and I'm so excited for them. Like every time I get to pull a vent from a room, every time I get to hear those first words, and I'm like, "You're doing so great! You're doing so great! I'm so proud of you!" And you have no idea how far you've come. And the initial reaction from them, usually, because it does take a long time, just getting your mind clear from all that sedation. They'll look at me initially and be like, "Oh my God, this girl's crazy. Like, what is she talking about?" Like,
what are you so excited about? Yeah, right.
Horrible, but it's the most humbling experience I've had in my medical career, and I've been in the medical field for 11 years now. So, I mean, honestly, it's very rewarding. It's so great to see them. They are an incredible bunch.
That is so wonderful. And so to the patient, like you said, when they're heavily sedated, you might just be a blur, you know, if they are even aware of you at all. And then when they you see the progress every day. It's almost like having a child and watching, oh, they took their first steps, and oh, they said their first word. And the kid never remembers it, but the parent sure does. So this whole experience for the people that wake up and get better and then realize how bad they were and that you were there the whole time being their coach and their cheerleader, I'm sure you hear after the fact patients must communicate with you and thank you.
I would like to say that we're there yet. They're still so sick that they aren't rehabbing out of it, so it does take a little while. So I would think maybe in a couple more months, we'll see more of that, definitely.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
After they leave their rehabs, and right now it's hard because, you know, there's no visitors anywhere.
Right.
We hear a lot from the families. We get a
exactly.
lot of
Yeah. I'm sure you do.
Once the patients are, you know, back completely to their lives,
right.
We do get a lot of positive feedback.
That's wonderful. You're angels. You really are. And what advice can you have for families and friends of healthcare workers?
So love your healthcare workers a little extra. As we keep going through this and it becomes kind of our workplace norm, it gets a little bit easier for us to process and deal with the daily stresses, as opposed to, you know, at first it was incredibly high anxiety all the time for us. And that has subsided, just like I said, because for us, unfortunately, it's the new norm. But, you know, just make us dinner, make us coffee, write us a little note.
The little things,
little sentiment. You know, after a 12-hour shift, tell us to wash our feet and then give us a nice foot rub.
A foot massage, yes. That would be good. And my last question is a question about wearing masks. Now, clearly, it's not a difficult thing to do. It's or facial covering, if you don't want to call it a mask. There's some controversy on why do I have to wear one? I mean, really, I'm staying 6 feet away from people. Why do I have to wear a mask? What, as a respiratory therapist, what do you say on the subject of wearing facial coverings in general?
So, you know, with this whole thing, we've just been kind of learning as we go. Everybody globally, and in the United States, we've all been learning. You know what? For right now, I think we kind of have to suck it up with the mask. If you think about it, okay, so yes, we're standing 6 feet away, but you know, if you cough, if you sneeze, that creates a particulate and that spreads through the air. And so you might be 6 feet away from me, but I might breathe in some of those particles. And if you're positive, then it puts me more at risk for getting the disease. And it's not, maybe healthy people think, okay, well, I have a strong immune system, I don't need that. And you know, that may be true. We all are still learning, but we have to think about protecting our elderly parents, our immunocompromised. You know, my husband's a type 1 diabetic. I worry, every day about getting him sick. You know, we have to protect those people. That's what you need to think of when you put that mask on. And you know what? Some of them are pretty cute. So
some of them are pretty funny.
With your outfit, you know, and then take them off when you get home, you know, or you know, get in your car.
And it's a small inconvenience compared to the potential good that it can do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And I think that the final thing to say is, because people have this virus and are completely asymptomatic, that becomes problematic too, because you might feel great and you might have it and you don't even know you have it. And that's why until we have more data, until we have a treatment and eventually a cure or a vaccine for this, what's it going to hurt to do this while you're in public for a while?
And you know what? As they're saying, and as the regulations come out as far as, you know, things reopening, I think it'll make it a lot easier for things to reopen if we do wear the masks.
Right, I agree. Well, Tracy, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. We so appreciate what you do every single day. You are heroes to us. I know you might not feel that way, but your whole industry is just amazing, what you do every single day, and we appreciate you, and thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Julie and Tracy. We wish you, your fellow healthcare workers, and loved ones safety and good health. As everyone continues to work through these difficult times, movie creators are still creating, and Sundance wants to help. Sundance Collab is an online space for creators to come together as a community to find insight and inspiration. Sundance has made member webinars and masterclasses free to attend and will continue to add new content, resources, and experiences so you can maintain your energy, creativity, and brilliance. For more information, visit collab.sundance.org. If you're into local history, you're going to enjoy this virtual talk with author Randall Charlton about his new book, The Wicked Pilgrim and Mayflower Too. The book chronicles the extraordinary story of his father, Warwick Charlton, an Englishman, who built the Mayflower Too in 1957 as a gift to America. With no financial resources and no knowledge of how to build a ship, Warwick built the replica of the famous ship in under 2 years, then sailed it to America, where it has become a beloved icon. The event takes place on May 29th from 12 to 1 p.m. To register for this free talk, visit the Alden House Historic Site Facebook page. If you love interacting with nature but still want to maintain social distancing guidelines, Mass Audubon has a solution for you with its new 6-part series, Neighborhood Naturalist Online. The series will have you studying and discussing plants, invertebrates, birds, mammals, and more. Each program will consist of 3 parts: a live online presentation, a guided outside exploration, followed by a live online follow-up for feedback, questions, and discussion. The next installment, Ecosystems, takes place on May 27th at 7 p.m. To register, visit the Mass Audubon website. Phoenix Fafard is an Eagle Scout with Troop 51 organizing a food drive for the St. Bonaventure Food Pantry. Phoenix took the time to talk about the drive and how you can help.
Hello, I'm Phoenix Fafard from Troop 51, and I want to tell you guys about my Eagle project. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a food drive for St. Bonaventure Fun for the Needy, and what I'm doing is, or actually how I thought of it was, I was watching the news and I saw so many people have lost their jobs or struggling to get food, so I'm like, this could be a good idea. I could help a lot of people with this right now. And so basically I'm looking for certain foods, but we'll accept any foods. So like crackers and cookies are very important because most people that donate just kind of donate stuff that'll last a long time, like pasta and rice, stuff like that. But since so many people are donating that stuff, they're looking for stuff for like people that are younger, like kids and stuff, so that could help. We're looking for peanut butter and jelly. That could help a lot because it lasts long in sandwiches and stuff. Mac and cheese is a good one. We're looking for that. And tuna, canned tuna, any canned meat, but specifically tuna is what we're looking for, but we'll accept any canned meat. Looking for coffee, like coffee, not like just like coffee, stuff like this. Hand soap is a big one. We're not, so we're looking for hand soap and any type of soap. We have shampoo as well. And brownie mix and cookie mix, cake mix, all that kind of stuff would be good as well. And also, we're not asking for this because I know it's hard to come by, but we would have really appreciated if you guys did donate stuff like paper towels or toilet paper. So if you guys stopped by we're setting up on the 23rd, Saturday the 23rd from 11 to 2, and we would really appreciate it if you guys could stop by.
Thank you, Phoenix. Families in the area are really going to appreciate your help and your hard work. Calling all language lovers, the Pembroke Public Library is now holding a language group for people studying a foreign language or English as a second language. Led by Brian, a library staff member and quadrilingual speaker, the group's goal is to share learning experiences and a love for languages. To sign up for the first meeting on May 27th, email the library. Also, at the library, the new virtual book club that began in April has already 40 members and is going strong. The next book is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. If you're interested in joining in on the fun, join the club's Facebook group to participate. If you're a teen or tween who's into STEM, this is for you. VidCode is offering a free virtual coding club while schools are closed. In lessons taught by experienced instructors, you'll start with absolute basics such as JavaScript and work your way up. After 3 sessions, you'll move on to the more advanced Thursday session. The club is recommended for ages 10 and up, is ongoing, and takes place on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. For more information, visit the VidCode website. It's the beginning of a very non-traditional graduation season. Erica has more.
Local high school seniors will cap their careers in Plymouth Public Schools with drive-by graduation ceremonies next month. Superintendent Gary Mayestas released partial plans for this year's commencement exercises last Friday. The location has not been determined, but graduates from Plymouth North High School, Plymouth South High School, and Plymouth Harbor Academy will drive to the ceremony one at a time to receive their diplomas from Mayestas and their school principal on June 6th. In a recording message, Mayestas apologized to seniors for not giving them the graduation they envisioned because of the coronavirus pandemic, but said it would be a memorable event nonetheless. Students will be allowed to decorate the cars driving them to graduation. Spectators will not be allowed, but the entire event will be live streamed so relatives around the world can watch. A professional photographer will take photographs of each student after they've received their diploma. They may not be able to play sports right now because of the pandemic, but there's nothing keeping Silver Lake seniors Cross Boudreau, Michael Voci, and Nick Larardi from talking about sports on their Offbeat Sports podcast, and people are listening. The podcast is on all the appropriate social media platforms, and as of the weekend, they had 650 followers on Instagram, 127 on Facebook, 62 on Twitter, and another 86 on YouTube. The first half dozen podcasts show the Laker trio, who were all winter sport captains at the high school, has a general idea of where they want to go with this project. Their aim is to talk about with their contemporaries about college search process in some podcasts, while focusing on the pro sports scene in others. Voci said being part of Silver Lake sports scene the last 4 years has been the most incredible part of high school. He also said, "I'm also going to miss being around my friends on the teams so much." High school seniors won't get a night of dancing in flowing dresses, pinning up their hair, and slipping on high heels after the coronavirus closed schools and either canceled or postponed proms and graduations across the state. But one local photographer decided there's no need for the milestone moment to go undocumented. Since late April, Andy Isles of Pembroke has photographed over 30 high school seniors, many in their colorful and ornate prom gowns, in natural settings all over the South Shore. The photographer plans to keep this project going until every student that wants a photo shoot has gotten one, regardless of how long it takes. 10 local high school seniors have been chosen as 2020 Scholar Athletes by the Jack Grinold Eastern Massachusetts chapter of the National Football Foundation. The award honors those who excel on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. The 45th annual Scholar Athlete Banquet, which would have been scheduled for May 17th in Boston, has been canceled because of the pandemic. Will Purdy and Tim Landolfi of Duxbury were also selected to the team. The pair led the Green Dragons to a spot in the Division III state finals this season. In a quote, "It's everything," Prouty said of being honored with Landolfi. "Tim and I are very good friends, and I see the hard work he puts into everything. It's all paid off for both of us. He's a great person and has done so many things in our community in the classroom that most people don't see. He puts in more work than anyone I know."
Finances have been hit hard during the ongoing pandemic. South Shore Community Action Council has extended their fuel assistance deadline through May 29th. Staff is available on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9:15 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you could use some fuel assistance, call them to complete your intake. Recently, we've been bringing you artists from Socially Distant Fest. This week, we're going to bring it back home with Boston-based musician and Pembroke resident Matt York.
Hi, my name is Matt York, and I live in Pembroke, Massachusetts, and this is a new song that I just released called Sent a Sin. And it sounds exactly like this. There's a sentence in around that always leaves me cold. Even in our darkest hour, my heart shall always hold. Once upon a time she loved me, but she don't love me anymore. I don't know just what I've done to make her so sore. Maybe you and me could find a better place to roam. Maybe you and me could build a home. There's a scent of sin around that haunts me in the night. No matter what I do, we always end in fight. Maybe you and me could find an island in the sun. Maybe you and me could find some fun. A place where I'm allowed. Oh, where I'm allowed. Maybe you and me could find a better place to roam. Maybe we could build ourselves a home. A place where I'm allowed. Oh, where I'm allowed. Stay safe, everybody, and hopefully we'll all meet again soon.
Great music, and I loved the dog cameo. For more on Matt's music, visit mattyorkmusic.com. Local Matters is a production of the local scene of PAC TV. To find a complete list of resources mentioned in this show, visit our website at pactv.org/local scene. Follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook to keep updated on the ways that we shine a light on your stories and our community. From all of us at PAC TV, we'll see you next week.